everyone. This is ASM Art Books, and today we'll be having a look at One Piece Color Walk Volume 2. You may be wondering why we're starting with Volume 2 instead of Volume 1. This is the only book that I have right now in this series. There are quite a few of them, but I found this one at a used bookstore, so I just snatched it up. And they actually had Volume 1, but the early arcs of One Piece I find not as interesting as the later arcs. And really, I wasn't all that interested in it until the, Enies Lobby Water 7 arc started. Then I got really invested. So this is about the earliest that I really got into the characters, when Robin kind of shows up and the Alabasta arc starts going. So on the cover we have Usopp, Luffy, Nami, Zoro, Sanji, Robin, and Chopper. And they're all brushing their teeth and getting ready, except for Luffy, who's eating a fish. And in the front, there's kind of a little map of some of the places they go. Alabasta Kingdom and Drum Island. Okay, and here we have an index and then a page of colorized manga. And I'll try to avoid spoilers since this is so early in the story. I don't think it'll be an issue. This book only covers up to the Alabasta arc. So, I'm just going to read this page. This is when Dragon shows up for the first time. He says, "These things cannot be stopped. An inherited strength of will, one's dreams, the ebb and flow of the ages. As long as people hunger for freedom, these things will exist." By Gold Roger, King of the Pirates. A pirate, eh? Not a bad idea. Alright, and here's some shots from the manga. Zoro, Sanji, Arlong. And then here's Luffy getting ready to fight the Arlong pirates. And then here we have kind of a promo art for the decisive battle in Arlong Park. So we've got the men of the Straw Hat crew facing up against Arlong. I remember Arlong and Hachi. Don't really remember these guys. They don't really show up again. Okay, and here's Nami with an orange. And if you're familiar with One Piece, you know that oranges are very central to Nami's story and character. And there's a sign here that says, "Bad conduct this way and justice the opposite way." So it's a bit on the nose. Some more pages from the manga. Right after Hachi is defeated, and then Sanji's squaring off against this guy. I think he was like a fishman karate expert. Alright, some more screenshots. Here's Arlong Park tumbling down, and these are like the dates that these issues of the manga aired, I guess. I really like this picture. It's kind of like a mob boss photo with Nami as kind of the gang leader and the others circled around her in these cool outfits. Here's some kind of little bus that's making the sound effect bororororo. Here's one of Nami in her village. It says, gonna have a party. So this must be after they defeated Arlong. And there's her adoptive sister, Nojiko. And there's Arlong Park falling down after Luffy smashes it. And here's Luffy catching a fish with a very creepy expression on his face. And here's the Straw Hat Pirates with a bunch of treasure. And here's some characters from Whiskey Peak. This is a really nice spread with all of them in different outfits and treasure flying everywhere. There's a golden whale and a golden octopus. All of Oda's illustrations have so much life and energy in them. His art style takes some getting used to. It's kind of simplified, but then there's so much detail in certain elements of it. But it's fun. It's overall fun. And he says about the previous illustration, it had been 2 years since the serialization started, and the anime was announced in this issue. This was the 100th chapter, and the title was The Legend Begins. I thought, how cool. And these are characters that don't appear in the story. They're just kind of concept drawings, although this one looks quite a bit like Boa Hancock. Okay, and here's an interesting one that says, it's funky One Piece. And they're in kind of mod clothes. Nami has this great, like, 60s dress, and Usopp's looking unusual without his typical hat. And there's like an owl with an army hat. And he says of this illustration, I kind of like trash heaps. Sometimes you value stuff that others don't want. And that's very true. Here's Luffy riding Laboon. Poor Laboon. And here's Smoker. He's a member of the Navy who can turn into smoke, and he's always pursuing the Straw Hats. And he always has at least 2 cigars in his mouth, at least. And then there's Buggy the Clown. He's a kind of rival pirate captain to Luffy. And I really didn't like Buggy at first. He's kind of too wacky for me, but then the more you see of him, especially towards the Impel Down arc, he really grew on me, and now he's one of my favorite characters. There's a nice shot of Luffy. And here's a page from Whiskey Peak when they're luring the Straw Hat Pirates by getting them all drunk. The moon rises over the revelry at Whiskey Peak. And so then I said in a very cool way, hey, you sea monsters, get your flippers off my friends. Captain Usopp is so cool. I must admit, our great escape from the Calm Belt had me shaking with delight. And here's some of the members of Baroque Works. Iguram, Miss Monday, don't remember her name, Vivi, but she had a code name. I'm not going to remember it, it was too long ago. And then this vulture and otter pair, the Unluckies. They kind of take care of anyone who's flubbed their mission. Let's see, these are notes on illustrations in the next pages, but I'll go ahead and read them. Giants are big and kind. I didn't want it like that. The big guys are strong and violent. I'm sure that's how giants would be if they existed. A night of the full moon in ancient ruin serves those dark shadows well. And then here's a page from Whiskey Peak after they've defeated the Baroque Works agents. Iguram says, "A billion, ahem, me. And this is his vocal tick. A lot of characters in One Piece and anime in general have sometimes a vocal tick, like a thing that they say after their lines, and it's usually like an animal character, like how Mughals say Kupo in Final Fantasy. But in One Piece, there's a lot of like weird laughs and just weird vocal things that characters have, so Igurum's saying me all the time. You must still be tipsy. Do you really think I'd get tipsy in a town that welcomed pirates? Give me more credit than that. Igurum's still saying me. That was all an act. I can drink way more than that. Oh, I see. Me. Well, will you pay us $1 billion or not, Chief? Because without our help, it looks like your princess is gonna die. So Nani's always looking out for money. And here's a really cool one of Zoro in a samurai-like outfit. And then here's the giants from Little Garden. I think their names are Dory and Broggy, but Little Garden was so long ago, like hundreds of episodes ago, and there's probably 1,000 characters in One Piece, so it's almost impossible to remember everyone's name. This one's really cool. It kind of looks like an Indiana Jones adventure is going on. He's got like a cool hat, and there's this snake who has a backpack for some reason. I wonder how he got it on without arms. And here's Luffy and Vivi, and of course Karoo, facing off against Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week. And Mr. 3 is another one that you don't really think much of him at first, but then he shows up much later in the story and becomes kind of a cool and interesting character. And here's, I don't know if you can see it very well, but Mr. 3's, one of his powers is making armor out of wax. And here's just all the characters in a really lively pose. Some more shots of Luffy, and of course the Going Merry, who's everyone's favorite crew member. And then here's Luffy and Usopp with the giants, and Usopp kind of forms a bond of manliness with the giants. Now we're getting some of the Drum Island shots. One Piece, stand up if you want to take flight. And for some reason they're all riding pterodactyls that have these stocking cap saddle things. It's very strange. He says, the best part of this piece is Karoo, the spot-billed duck in the middle. Why aren't you flying? Well, he is a duck. And there's Karoo right there riding on the pterodactyl's back. And then here's Tashigi and Smoker as they're pursuing the Straw Hats into the New World, or the Grand Line, the New World's later. And here's the Straw Hats meeting Dalton, who's kind of the village leader on Drum Island. And Dalton says, this country has no name. A country without a name? I've never heard of such a thing. Wow, a bear. Everybody play dead. And the bear just nods at them. That's just the hiking bear. It's not dangerous. Don't forget to bow. It's a mountaineer tradition. And then here they are in some kind of Viking-looking sled, asking a snow monster of some sort for directions. It seems to be some kind of Yeti serpent because its body goes like this. And then Nami's drawing a map, looking at her log pose. And here's some sketches. Here's the giants and maybe Tashigi. There's Smoker, Chopper, and his different forms. I don't think this is anyone that we see. Here's Nami, and then just some other character sketches. Let's see. This looks like it was probably Dalton. This looks a bit like Dr. Kureha. If it is, she ended up being much older, but the glasses and just her sharp expression kind of look like Dr. Kureha. Let's see. Oh, some of the Baroque's works members in early development. Some more Nami, did some different outfits for her. And red-haired Shanks. And here we start to see Chopper. And then here's Chopper and Luffy, and Chopper's mentor, Dr. Hiriluk. And here's Nami and Vivi in some really cool Indian looking outfits. And here they are in some kind of jungle, and Usopp's eating this little hot dog octopus. One of my friends made me a bento box one time, and she made a little hot dog octopus to go in it. It was so cute. And he says, I want to eat hot dogs cut to look like octopuses too. I wonder what the people of the past used that giant telescope to... I want to eat hot dogs. And here they are relaxing in some sort of house. Usopp and Zoro are playing chess, and Luffy's maybe playing fetch with a mohawk flamingo. And Sanji has a really hideous outfit on. Oh, Sanji, why? And here's Chopper in a very important scene with Dr. Hiriluk. He says, Ame-udake mushroom soup. Is it good? Ack, it's terrible. Yuck. Huh? Heh. But good medicine always tastes bad. That's proof that it works. I'm feeling better already. Thank you, Chopper. And of course we find out that that was a poison mushroom. And here's a really nice shot of the crew all together with Mary. And Mary's looking a little worse for wear, which comes into play later. But this is a really fun shot. I really like the perspective here. Okay, and here's Dr. Kureha, and now we start to see Crocodile and Alabasta. And then here's Luffy, Chopper, and Sanji facing off against Wapol and whoever his minions were. Again, they don't really come back into play. You don't see them for very long. And then here's the Straw Hats running through the sand, and Luffy's hat has flown off and they're all trying to catch it. I love the look on Zoro's face as he just does this like heel turn stop and just has this like, oh, there it goes again look on his face. And this is giant flamingo sea serpent in the background. That's really cool. And it says, One Piece, a caballo vama palmar. And he says, A caballo vamo palmar. It means across the sea in Spanish. I'm pretty sure. I looked it up. Don't know if that's 100% accurate. I don't think Spanish has that many apostrophes in it. Maybe like a Central American variant. And here's Luffy in a baseball uniform for whatever reason. And here they all are in different sports outfits. Zoro's got like a karate outfit. And Nami's looking very cute in a little swimsuit. And Usopp has a bow and arrow. Sanji is a soccer player. And Chopper has tennis stuff. And then here's a really cute illustration of them just relaxing in like a backyard garden. And there's a giant dog. And they're all reading. Zoro's reading some kind of book about fitness. I can't really read it, but he's got a barbell on top of his book, so he's working out. And I like how Luffy has glasses on. I think he's probably reading a manga. And then Chopper's reading about medicine. And then Usopp is intently drawing a bird who seems to be intently drawing Usopp as well. It's funny. And then here's the first time we see Ace, who's Luffy's big brother. He's a really cool guy. And then here's Nami's Alabasta outfit, which I absolutely love. Koza, Vivi's childhood friend. And here they are in the desert with some kind of ancient giant cow. And Usopp's got his football armor on, which of course comes in handy in the desert. I really like the dramatic perspective. Oda's very good at doing these dramatic shots that play with perspective and these swirling clouds that make it look so dramatic. Skeletons of giant creatures are what adventure is all about. This giant beast ruled these parts in the past. In this land where these creatures no longer exist, the wind sure is strong now. One Piece, flavor of sand. Doesn't sound like a very good flavor. And here we have Baroque Works, the Spider's Cafe at 8 o'clock. A very pivotal chapter. So, the Baroque Works agents, the higher agents, are in pairs of numbers and holidays. And then the minions who make up the bulk of the force are called the Billions, I believe. So, Mr. 5 is partnered with Miss Valentine. Mr. 4 is partnered with Miss Merry Christmas, although he also has a some kind of sentient dog gun that is sort of also his partner. Mr. 3 is partnered with Miss Golden Week. Mr. 2, another one of my favorite characters, who doesn't have a partner that we see. Mr. 1 and Miss Doublefinger. And of course Mr. 0, or Crocodile, with Miss All Sunday, or Robin. Crocodile is probably my second favorite character in all of One Piece. I really had no interest in him until the Impel Down saga. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen that far, but he starts working with Luffy, and he really, of course, has his own agenda. And Luffy looking ready for a fight. And then here we see Robin's power. She has the clone fruit, so she can clone different parts of her body. And then here's Luffy doing his impression of Sanji. And then Koza and the king, I want to say it's King Nebra or King Cobra. I don't know. Okay, this is embarrassing. I watched the 4Kids dub of One Piece when it first aired on Cartoon Network. And some parts of it still stick in my brain, like the changes that they made. I've gone back and watched the entire series, unedited, but the first impression is hard to break. But whatever his name is. There's the 2 palace guards. I think his name is Pell, and he turns into a hawk. And I don't remember his name, but he turns into like a jackal. And here's Luffy and Nami. Nami looking kind of like an 80s action movie heroine. And they've got kind of this South American vibe going on with this jaguar. Although the jaguar has like a little bunny hat. Who knows what that's about. He says, I had just returned from a trip to America when I drew this. I was inspired by Native American fashion. The rabbit has nothing to do with anything. So I guess even Oda doesn't know why the rabbit's there. Here's Luffy in a spacesuit for whatever reason. And here we're going to have some concept art and sketches from the development of One Piece. Got giant snakes. This guy who looks kind of like Zoro. And this is an art style that's very unlike what we see in the rest of the book. I kind of like how realistic this is. We've got these mob-looking guys. Some centaurs, which are one of the few creatures that we never really see in One Piece as of yet. There's so many mythical creatures and combinations of different animals, but we haven't seen centaurs yet. And then here's some little elves or gnomes or something. A blue tiger smoking 3 cigarettes at once. Make a good pet for smoker, maybe. And here's a guy who looks a little bit like red-haired Shanks, except he's got blue hair. Maybe his name is Blue Hair Bill. He's Shanks' long-lost twin brother. And then there's an interview with Oda and another manga creator. It's lengthy, I'll just skip over that. And then, I wish we had this in color somewhere. This is a really cool one of all of them as samurai. Maybe it's in one of the other books. And then this just says where each illustration originally premiered. And then I'll read this little closing note from Ichiro Oda, creator of One Piece. Does art tell you something? Does manga advocate something? As a matter of fact, I don't put any messages in the manga I draw. If I draw a story, the themes emerge all on their own. I do my utmost to find an answer in what I come up with, but each reader is entirely free to decide what he or she takes away from the story. So I don't send messages, but, it's not as if I don't have anything to say. If I were to add some words of my own to the chapter I draw every week in the manga, they would be, live another week with good cheer and vitality. That's all. Thank you for your support. And then here we have a postcard, and you can pull it out of the book, but it's kind of glued in there, so I don't want to risk tearing it. Maybe if I get a bunch of these books, I'll take all the postcards out and frame them or something. But it's just the cover and the back cover. Okay. And then here we have, let me see if I can show it all together. Yep. So this is the full illustration of the Straw Hats getting ready in the morning from their campsite, while this little mysterious black and white duck watches. So that was One Piece Color Walk Volume 2. Hopefully I'll get some more volumes of the series. I know they would be pretty easy to track down online, but if I thought that way, then I would just have piles and piles of books everywhere. So I'm gonna wait until I run across them in the wild, maybe at a convention. But thank you for watching, and have a good day.